Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are continuing with our ANSEAM live training. I'm just going to give you guys a minute to get settled in, to find us, to get connected. I know things are a little different now because we are filming or streaming, I guess, from my page, but I know you guys are quick with this, so you'll get used to it. But I hope you guys are all so full of information from our last lives HQ. I call it HQ, Avon HQ. But headquarters had their sales meeting last week, which is why we were on a bit of a break. But I just hope that you guys picked up a lot of stuff. I know I was taking notes like crazy, screenshotting, and just try to get everything down. The representative they had, I deleted the I deleted my note for that. Hey Kathleen and hey Angela. But she shared so many awesome tips. So I always tell you guys, before we had YouTube where you could log in and follow a different person, or Facebook, we were all doing Facebook Live. These monthly trainings was how we used to learn. So we had the sales meetings, and then every once in a while Avon would have a conference call, and I lived on these conference calls. I remember doing them in studio. I remember being at home and listening to them, and it was great for me because I was in school and working, or doing both at the same time sometimes. So it was really helpful for me to be able to catch the replays. So some of these things I listened to, I took notes, and I went back to listen to after a while. So I really like that Avon is continuing to do these webinars. I should say New Avon. I'm glad that New Avon decides to continue these webinars. I really like them, and I highly recommend them to you. So what we do here is we have a Facebook event. So we do a live event, and I'll screenshot some of the posts just to get some conversation going. We share our wins there instead of here, and we talk and we share ideas. So with the webinars, you're kind of just watching the video. I kind of felt that doing a Facebook event where you can watch that. I usually do like a dual screen where I'm watching that and then I'm typing in the screen at the left. I've got Windows 7, so you just drag the window to the other side and you get that side-by-side view. So I usually do that so that I could, as I'm watching what's happening in the stream, I'm typing and corresponding with you guys. And it's always nice to just have some chatting going on. Me and Angela discovered our mutual love of ice cream, so you get to, it reminded me of the sales meetings that we used to have in the past, except that I could sit at home comfortably in my pajamas. So last week was the training for September. I believe it looks like they're just going to continue with this every third Tuesday, which is fine with me. Gives me a little bit of a break. We do that. I mean, I still do the Facebook Live, but I'm not streaming, so I could change out my work clothes and into my pajamas. But so if you missed it, they have emailed out the link. Try and catch it. I usually post the link in our event pages, so you can usually find it. They have it in both English and Spanish. But if you don't have it, just leave me a note and I'll give it the links that I had. They usually keep the replay going of the webinar for a good month, so you'll probably be able to watch it before you watch next month in case you missed it. I also recommend, even if you're just joining, whatever it is, I recommend going back and getting caught up on the different webinars. Sometimes I do that. I'm big on listening to podcasts right now. A lot of times if I miss something, I'll just like make a playlist of stuff, and while I'm at work, I'll sit and let it play in the background. You have no idea how much little like nuggets of information you get from just watching these things. Just yesterday, this past Monday, I was listening to Lisa Wilbur's live stream on Monday mornings, and she called me out, and I was like, wait, I'm in the office. But that's what I normally do. I usually just plug it in my ears, and as I'm drafting or doing my work, I'm listening to either you guys, the live streams of other Avon ladies, YouTube videos, or podcasts. And then if not, I'm usually just listening to music. I like the background noise. It helps me focus. But get those videos, get a playlist of past videos and, you know, just listen to them. If you find yourself struggling in your business, I love these. Whenever I find that I'm in an area that I'm really struggling with, or, you know, that I'm feeling stuck, or like I can't get out of a rut, first and foremost, I pray about it. But then I listen to some YouTube videos, and I try to get, you know, just a tidbit. Sometimes it's stuff that you know already, but sometimes maybe a question is asked or a comment is made where you're kind of like, oh, I didn't think about it that, or I didn't see something that way. Miss Angela says, yeah, personal development at least, definitely. And don't only just look for Avon representatives. Don't just look for the big wigs. You know, I mean, I definitely, you guys always hear me talking about Darren Hardy, Tony Robbins. There's another guy I love whose name I can never remember, of course. But I used to have, Avon had an event, and I'm going to my bookshelf, but one year at Avon Rep Fest, I had a whole series of stuff. Hang on. Let's see if I can find them. Yep, here we go. Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is the man. So you guys with a good memory, next time I'm talking about someone whose name I can never remember, it's Jim Rohn. But Jim Rohn, so I won this set of, I don't even know, just like little ideas. So like I said, Darren Hardy, I think it was the same conference that Darren Hardy came to, but don't quote me on that. But Avon had a little giveaway. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if these were winnings. I think I won the one on leadership management. That might be in my other bookshelf. I think it was like 2020 leader or something. I think I won that, but I think these were giveaways. So there's one book on time management, a book on goal setting, one for personal development, one for leadership, and one for communication. So these are like tiny little short books. They have little experts. It's not like a ton of reading or writing. It's, you know, a bus ride, maybe a train ride, maybe two, but you'll definitely get it done within a week. But it gives you like it's like, I feel like it's a summarized versions of their books and training. So it's just enough to get the light bulb going. So I love doing things like that. So personal development, like Annabelle said and Angela said, is really important. So yeah, Angela said she can't remember right now. But yeah, so those things I find are really helpful. The podcast as well, I try to search for business management, MLM, direct sales. But I feel like with sales, there's so much correlation across the board. So look at magazines like Entrepreneur, the Harvard Business Review, Fortune magazine. Fortune also has a section for women, you know, like Fortune women. So check out all of those things, because they're like, business is business at the end of the day, and the same things that we struggle with as representatives and as sales leaders are the same things that people struggle with in other businesses. But that wasn't my topic of discussion for tonight. So completely lost my train of thought. But what I'm gonna do tonight, you know, as always, share your wins for the week in the chat box below. We love to cheer you guys on and celebrate with you, and you know, just be partners in each other's business, because even though we're in the same business, there's enough success to go around, and we love to be a part of that. So if you haven't already, get started with sharing in the chat box below your wins for the week. I do want to shout out some representatives. I don't think I saw them come on, but I wanted to shout out some of the ladies from my team. If I could pull it up. Miss Gina had an amazing order for campaign 19, I believe it was, 19 or 20. Miss Jamie had a fabulous $500 order, and I have the box probably in my trunk by now, ready to go for tomorrow. I have a box of goodies for you to recognize you and celebrate your wins. And we also just had another really great order come in, and I'm getting a text from Miss Heather, who said she received, okay, see, I love you guys. Even if you can't make it onto the live stream, just send me a text and we'll still celebrate with you. So Miss Heather said she received her biggest order, and the biggest order that she's received yet. So awesome. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to the other ladies. And let's see what else we have. Oh, I was originally talking about the Avon HQ live stream. So again, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. Put it in your playlist to be watched later. That was last Tuesday. That's why we didn't meet here. So we will be continuing. It looks like every third Tuesday of the month, Avon will be having their live training. So we'll be on pause for then. But so yes, wins for the week. For me, wins. For me, sometimes it's just like, I got through the week and didn't strangle someone. Not in Avon, but like in like day job stuff. But for me, my win, and I left it in the car, was I've actually been reaching out to my customers using different methods. And this week, I got some really great feedback. I had 5 customers call me in a row with back-to-back online orders, and they're all over $50 in response to a promotion I did. So what I did was I sent out to my customers, if you guys are on the social media selling group, no, the social selling group for Avon's partnership with Multibrand, they partnered with us to do social selling, and they're teaching us things like all the way from the basics to how to promote your business. So they're teaching us how to use Facebook and integrate with Instagram. And it's been interesting because you could kind of see the range of, getting business started. And it's funny because I've been okay with Facebook and Instagram and all of that, but starting a Facebook group has kind of been my, oh wait, huh? Okay, kind of thing. So I've been looking at different ways to promote my business, to get my customers engaged and involved in a way that's more than here's a brochure. Like last week, we were talking about being more than just the salesperson. Well, not last week, the week before, we were talking about being more than just the order taker. Developing relationships with your customers, developing friendships, and suggesting products to them. So I was looking at different ways that I could interact with my customers on different levels. So I did a promo for them where I offered them a percentage off, and it seems to be doing really well. The feedback has been great. The response has been great. The energy from my customers, some of them were people who hadn't placed an order in a while, and it's always good to hear back from them and kind of have that moment to connect. So I was, it's always exciting to see that something that you implemented is giving you the results that you of course want to see. I of course would love to see results on a broader scale, but I said, okay, that was Friday. I think I got my first call. There's 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 yesterday, and an email on Sunday, so that was 5. So between Friday and Saturday, 5 new customer orders, ranging anywhere from $50, I think 2 of them were $80. I was super excited for them. I don't know, yeah, I was excited to, at first I was like, hey, it's really great to hear from you, I don't care how big the order was. I'm lying, there was another one on Tuesday, it was 6, so it actually started from last week Tuesday. So call it a week now, 6 orders. But at first I was like, hey, how you doing? How's your summer? Great to connect. And then, when they gave me the order, I was like, oh, wow, these are, decent sized orders. Thank you. And they were like, yeah, we saw your promotion. We got your information. That was kind of cool. Thank you for doing that. And one of my customers, her order actually came in below the number for her to qualify for the promotion. But I said to her, let me look and see if I can find any other special deals for you. And she was like, oh, wow, that's really, really nice of you. Like, I appreciate that. And I was like, well, I would want it done for me. So I gotcha. But, even moments like that, it just kind of speaks to how important it is to build those relationships and reach out to your customers and do the follow-ups. And, put variety into your follow-up. So it's not always like a text. Maybe sometimes you send a postcard. I love send out cards. Lisa Wilbur is always talking about send out cards. And I finally had opened the account a few months ago. Lisa, both of Lisa's, boy, there are a lot of Lisas, Lisa Wilbur and Lisa Scola, were also talking about send out cards. So I registered and I applied for a send out cards account. I use that to communicate with my customers, with my team as well. So, you know, I find that everybody communicates differently. Some people are better by phones. Like I'm a person, I am 100% better by text or private message. Sometimes people are like, oh, can I get your number so I can call you and talk to you? And I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We'd probably connect better over text or Facebook Messenger, because for me to find the time sometimes to clear 15 minutes, sometimes I'm just running around or I'm in an area with a noisy background. Even to film here with you guys, sometimes you hear the cars and stuff in the background. But sometimes it's just easier to go by text. So do things that's spontaneous. Like right now, there's no special holiday. There's no really special offer. It's the middle of September. It's, you know, nothing huge is happening. I guess back to school was one. But, you know, sometimes to just have something spontaneous, like, hey, I want to thank you for being my customer. I want to show that I appreciate you by giving back something small. People really do appreciate that. And sometimes people ask, you know, well, what do I do? I tend to recommend, well, what would you like to have done for you? Do you like getting samples in your order? I know I do. Do you like getting discounts and special offers? I know I do. Do you like getting recognition? I do. So those are the things that I try to do as well. And you won't know what works until you test it, but I'm getting into tonight's training and live stream. So enough about me. How about you? What kind of things are you guys celebrating this week? What have you accomplished? Technically, 2 weeks, because last week we had our Avon HQ live stream. So, you know, between our last live stream 2 weeks ago and now, let's talk about some of the wins that you're celebrating. And as I always say, don't be shy. We're all friends and family here. I should create like a hashtag, like if you want to celebrate, but you don't want your name called out, then I don't know. Can't help you. We're going to celebrate you. But let's see. Hey, Millie. Thank you for joining us. Yay! Millie's got her power back. We are so glad. I just want to send some love to Millie and Carlos and her son and her family and extended family in Florida and all of our team in Florida, because I know you guys had a rough time these past few weeks, and that was actually one of the reasons I guess we haven't been hearing from you, because you didn't have power. So I want to say shout out and welcome back. We miss you. We're so glad to see that you're safe and you're back with us, and we're looking forward to hearing more from you. Millie. Okay. So Miss Renee says customer service is a major key. Miss Renee says she sends out the thank you cards to all her direct delivery customers with samples included. Oh, I love that. Miss Sarah says that she's celebrating 2 new recruits and almost being at Brown's ambassador. She's so close. I know when you're like so close, you could smell it. So congratulations, Miss Sarah. I hope next week, maybe, we'll get to celebrate your making it to your next level. Malaka says she's getting her mojo back, but she's Spanish, so it's mojo. Her mojo. Congratulations, Milagros. And congratulations, Sarah. Continuing. So yeah, definitely continue with your wins for the week. We want to celebrate with you. Today was Closeout Tuesday, so I know a lot of you guys are seeing increases in your sales, changes in titles, growth in your business, and I love that, because I know how it feels to be the validation. So you know, pop in here, just share your quick celebration, and pop on out if you have to. But we always like to see your success, because the success of one is the success of whole. So if everyone is growing and building, it's great for all of us. So I love to see that. Uproot the roots of bitterness and envy and hatred that don't exist here. We are the kind of what was the name of that woman? She plays Cookie in Empire. I don't watch it, but I know her. Taraji P. Henson. Is it Henson? Yes. Taraji P. Henson, right? I want to say Helmsworth, but I think that might be the guy from from Marvel. But yes, Taraji, I love. Have you guys ever found like moments in your life where you see someone do something and you're like, yeah, I want to be that person? Like she is like that image of that moment is where I want to be. But I always think of that moment where her and a group of phenomenal women were all up for the same award, and she ended up losing it. But the way she jumped up and clapped, and I probably talk about this on here all the time, but the way she popped up and she was clapping and cheering for the other woman, I was like, that's how I want to be. I want to be that girl right there. Maybe I lose. Well, okay, yeah, I do want to be the one who wins, but I want to be the one where if I lose, I can lose gracefully enough to not even be like, oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, I want to pop up and be like, yeah, you deserve that. You go, girl. I'm going to back you up 100%. So I love that you guys share your wins here and that we don't have that angst. It's really great to be that kind of atmosphere. So who else do we have? Miss Sarah. Oh, Miss Sarah has dinner to do. Yes, run. Put us on turn up the volume, run and cook dinner. Let the boys listen as you as you cook. Let's see who else we have. All right, great. So tonight's topic of discussion, as you guys know, we are continuing this series PHAT. I'm dating myself by using this acronym because I don't think the cool kids say that anymore, but we still do. But we went through so far our PHAT series. It's not pretty hot and tempting, but I've been revealing to you each week what each letter means and how it applies to your business so that your success can be that too. So the first letter that we did was pursue. The second letter that we did was to hone. And then today we're on to the A, which is going to be to act, and how important it is to act on building your business, act within your business, as well as how to act, like how to carry yourself and things like that. So full action-packed discussion here, but I wanted to do this because I thought, when we're talking about promoting and growing and building a business and building successfully, the action steps are so super important. It's just that sometimes they kind of get not lost, but maybe muddled over by other stuff. The number one hindrance is fear. You're so prepared, you know what you're going to do, you rehearse your lines, you've practiced in the mirror, you've practiced with friends and family, and then you get out there and you go to do it, and fear sets in, and then the terror takes root, and you end up not doing, carrying out what you plan to do. The other problem with action is it takes commitment to do it. And we see that in this business a lot. People will join in, in any business. I'm an architect. The dropout rate for architecture students in the first semester is something crazy. I think out of my first year, maybe 2 of us graduated at all. College, not high school. High school was a little better. I think we had 3 of us continue on to architecture from high school. But not just this business, but business as a whole, especially being an entrepreneur, it takes a special somebody to have being an entrepreneur in their blood. And sometimes we just let our own trash talk, I guess, get to us and talk us out of going ahead and doing what we need to do. I don't know if it's that we lack the confidence to do it, or if our head is maybe even too fat for us and we're just like, I'm too good for that whole working commitment thing. I'm just going to move on and do something else. So it could be either or, and it depends on different people, but a lot of people get out of the gates, they leave the starting block, they get going, but they just peter out, they burn out, they lose interest. When it stops being fun, they just don't want to do it anymore. For me, I liken it to playing the piano. It's one of the things that I started that I just got good enough to play by ear, could not play with my left hand, could not read the music sheet. I would have to go through the letters, play each letter to hear, and then be able to put it together in a composition. But it was just something that never took off with me. So, people leave things for different reasons, but if you're not continuing to act on your initial impulses, your initial ideas, things will kind of fall off and fall by the wayside. So hey, Olga. So your action steps are just so crucial to your success in anything you do. We always talk about Olympians here. Jessica Emon, because she's my sports expert. So I can't do any sports quotes until Jessica M comes on, because I don't know how many people are supposed to be on teams and any of that. But with athletes, it's great to say you want to win the gold medal, but you have to actually be training and working and eating right, or putting the right things in your body, hopefully not steroids, but the good things in your body that you need to win. So you can't get from deciding to do it and actually doing it without the action steps in between. I love goal setting. You guys know I love to plan. You guys know I love to talk about smart goals and being prepared ahead of time with what you want to do. But you can plan till kingdom come. But if you don't take action on those steps, nothing will ever come to fruition. So today I have 3 things that I want to share with you about the importance of acting, and some different ideas that you can use to put into action to grow your business. So when I say act, first, I said, there are 3 ways you could think about the word act. So the first thing is how you act. And that will kind of overshadow or blur into my other 2 topics, but how you act is super important, because first and foremost, you have to let people know what you are doing. And I want to take it to the next level and even say you want to let people know what you're doing so much that it becomes a part of who you are. You want to be the Avon lady. And I always look at Lisa Wilbur, her car, her house, everything is Avon. Milagros, she is working this business. Her Facebook page, you look on there and it's family stuff, but her Avon stuff, it's just like her Avon people have become her Avon family. I've had people that I haven't seen for years, don't keep in touch with, aside from, I guess, Facebook and Instagram, which I feel really bad for me. That is sometimes, how I keep in touch. I'm like, oh yeah, I liked your post the other day. We kept in touch. Meanwhile, I haven't called you. So if you're one of those people, I apologize. But sometimes I'll run into people who I haven't spoken to or haven't heard from, and they'll say, oh, I see you're doing that Avon stuff. That's really good. I'm kind of just like, okay, even though we don't talk, you can still see, which is awesome. Maybe you've heard through the grapevine, maybe you've seen on social media, but when people look for me or at my page, they see Avon predominantly there. Not for nothing, guys, but I'm getting some of the friend requests from you guys, and I'm like, do I know you? How do I know you? There's nothing on your wall or your page that says anything about what you do aside from the memes that you reposted or retweeted from somewhere else. Where did we meet each other? I don't know where you went to school. I don't know where you worked. I don't know if we live in the same city. I can't tell anything about you as a person, because it's just either stuff regurgitated from someone else, or it's just like, I call it, I don't want to say meaningless, but like that fluff, that kind of stuff. So take a look. We were talking about, like earlier, I was saying we were taking a social media course. Are you promoting yourself on social media? Are you promoting yourself in real life? Usually, today I don't have it, but usually I have some sort of Avon pin on my jacket, buttons on my bag, all of my clothing, my jewelry, my accessories, my shoes are Avon. So if you see me in the street and your Avon products, you can clock everything that I'm wearing, that's from Avon. And I've also been out doing events, and I've run into a person, and maybe I try to offer them a brochure or share the opportunity with them, and they're like, I sell Avon too. And I'm like, oh, pause, quick. Like in the movies where they like pause the screen and like hone in on different places, and I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm just gonna have to take your word for it, because there's nothing else for me to see to help me know that you do that. And I say, when you brand yourself properly and people know you as the Avon lady, when they know you as whatever it is that you do, the architect, the business professional, the teacher, the mom, whatever, they will also help promote you through word of mouth. But they have to know that you're there. Sometimes I get people who'll say, Well, I don't have any customers. I always ask, okay, well, the first thing I usually ask is how are you promoting yourself? Are you giving away brochures? Do you have a bumper sticker on your car? Do you have a button that you're wearing? Every one of my team members, when they first join, I mail them an Avon button. I have to do welcome packets. That's why this is out. But I usually mail the Beauty for a Purpose button when they get their first recruit. I'll mail them another button. This is a button that's going out to another rep on my team because I want to give them tools and materials that they'll use to promote themselves. Just last week, oh, that was the other rep that I wanted to shout out, Miss Bernice. I don't think she's on the live stream, but Miss Bernice called me the other day and she was telling me how she was wearing her button, forgot that she had it on. I do that all the time too, Miss Bernice. But she forgot that she had it on. She went into a store and the person was like, oh, you sell Avon? And it was a chance for her to give her brochure. Like even when your mind isn't on promoting, you have to be doing it. It's got to be just on all the time. So people need to know what you're doing. And this is actually kind of sort of running into number two, but you're your best billboard. Nobody else is going to promote you like you can promote you. In the same way that nobody's going to believe in you the way that you could believe in you. Let me finish with the promotion first. But so number one is the promoting. Even when your mindset isn't on promoting, you have to be like, I love social media because you put the post up, they can run almost like on their own on the clock. You brand your wall, your page, your Twitter, your Facebook, your Pinterest, your Instagram, whatever it is. There's so many branding tools that the company has provided for us to put on our social media. That could be happening like not subliminally or subconsciously, but it's just happening on its own. Wearing a button is a great way. I love to wear the buttons because sometimes I still feel shy about talking to a person or bringing up a conversation. But like Miss Bernice, I've had moments where people have seen me with the button and they started the conversation with me. But it also forces me to get my RBF under control. You don't want to sit there with the 100% OD mean mug and expect someone to come up to you and ask you for a brochure if they're terrified of you. So smile a little, look the part. And even when you're off the clock, with me, I work full time, and I know a lot of you are parents or students or whatever. So you're technically not working your business 24/7, but you do want to be working your business 24/7, so you could start to reap the rewards. Yes, Milagros says branding on the go. Miss Milagros also has the giant, Avon van. So you see that thing coming down the road a mile away. So yeah, talking about cars and branding. But when you're off the clock, you still want to be promoting yourself in those subconscious ways, because those are opportunities for you to be growing your customer base, building your team, and just being that billboard for yourself. You want to look and act professionally. Do you have to be in, full-on business suit 24/7? Probably not. But you want to look clean. You don't want your clothes to look holy. Sew them up. Put a patch on, put a button on top of the holes to cover it up, whatever. You want to be clean, you want to be neat, you want to smell good. Why? Because you sell fragrances. You kind of want to look kept. You don't have to look perfect all the time because you're human, and most of us know that. But you don't have you don't have to look perfect, but you have to look presentable, if that makes sense to me, because you never know if that makes sense to you. It makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you. But you never know when you run into people. And like I said, so I've been out, not with my mind on promoting the business, but my car has the decal in the back. So I have moments where someone will come up and ask me something, or those moments when you want to run into the market with the hat on because you don't have any makeup on and stuff like that. At least make sure your t-shirt is clean. If not, put a jacket on and go about your day. But little things like that can be so important, because you might find yourself in a situation where you're talking to someone about your business. I'll never forget one day, I think it was me and my manager were out somewhere. I think we had finished I think we were doing a meeting. So it wasn't a situation where like we were prospecting, we needed to grow the business, but we ran into someone who was the manager of a local store in the area. And we ended up having a conversation with them and asking if we could do an event at their other facility, because they were saying, oh yeah, I'm not at that spot anymore, we're somewhere else. And we were, we were talking and we were like, oh, would that other branch or facility be interested in doing an event? And I was just like, wow, if I was out here looking like WTF and all crazy and stuff, I wouldn't have even gone to speak with her, because I would have just been like, no, I'm not presentable. And that conversation, that opportunity would never have happened. So a lot of times when you're out there, the opportunities are there, but you've got to be ready for it. And you do that by being your own billboard. And also, number two is, like I said, a continuation of being your own billboard. But I wrote down here, no one is as vested in you as you are. Your voice is the strongest, so make sure that it's saying things that help you, not hurt you. What I mean by that is that you want to take failure off the table. A lot of us are negative talking ourselves. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you sometimes. I catch myself doing it too. But some of you are negative talking yourself out of a great opportunity. You've started today, tomorrow you're sending me a text like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me. This is, it's just not, I don't think this is for me. You have a defeatist mentality. You've already taken yourself out of money. And I try to encourage my team to nip that in the bud as soon as possible, because it's like an evil plant. Has anybody seen those movies like The Vines or The Weeds or whatever those are, where there's like this plant, you're burning it, you're doing everything you can, and it just keeps coming back? Those negative thoughts are like those type of weeds. You have to dig them up, burn them, throw them out, cut them down as soon as possible, as early as you catch them, because if you don't, they will stay there and they will fester. And the truth of the matter is that whether or not you have family who's supportive or friends who's supportive, a spouse or children who are supportive of your business, at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to you. Because if you believe that what you're going to do will be successful, that you will find success, then it won't matter what everyone else is saying around you. And you will find those naysayers. And I always kind of apologize for it, but it's reality. If you haven't yet, awesome for you. I hope you never do. But I've met a lot of people who have. I've had it in my own life. And I hear a lot of stories of people who have had it within this business and other business. But it seems there's always that person who doesn't have anything good to say, but feels they need to say it anyway. So your personal, like your self-talk has to be strong enough and loud enough. Like just crank that volume all the way up, turn the bass up on that bad boy, and tune out everything that other people are saying. Because the moment you let, I can't do this isn't gonna work, or you'll never be, that person, that seed has just been planted. And anytime you think it again, it just waters and grows and spreads, and it becomes like something you can't even imagine. And you'll end up quitting and taking yourself out before you even see what you can accomplish. I love hearing success stories from other representatives, because one of the things that I found is that these stories, the people that we look up to so much, are just like us. And I love to hear just like, origin stories, because when you hear who they were and how far they've come, that means so much more than, where they are now. So you have to craft your own origin story. Maybe you're going to have your supervillains. Maybe you're going to have your negative moments. Maybe you're going to have the turmoil that is, just a part of reality. But you have to know who you want to be. You kind of have to look forward to what you want to be and use that to affect who you are now. Yeah, you have to just kind of live in the future and let that future you affect who you are now until you become that future person. But it's going to start with your own voice inside. It's going to start with your own self-talk, your own personal beliefs. You just can't, you can't afford to let I can't I'll never, this won't, this doesn't work, all of that. And I mean that not just for yourself, but, you know, for your team. None of that, you know, my team is never going to grow. No, you have to do it for the company. None of this, oh, the company doesn't do this, the company doesn't provide, the company is not going to, doesn't matter. When you want to succeed, all of that stuff just becomes like, I don't even know, like sand in the wind, just whatever. Comes, goes, blown in and out, gone. You have to just hold on firmly to the belief that you will be that person you want to be, and you have to make this your avenue. You have to say, like I always say, choose your mountain and stick with it. You can't be wishy-washy, because the people around you, remember we're talking about being your own billboard, the people around you will see that. When you're trash talking your company and your manager and your team and your coworkers, whether it's this business or another, people watch that. And I've seen that happen even for myself. You have to be careful what you say and who you say it around. I remember we were in a meeting. I can't remember if it was for Avon, but I was doing a training, a leadership training for something, and they said never do negative talk down to your team. If Never do negative talk across to your peers. If you have an issue or a problem, something that needs clarification, something that you need motivation on, talk to someone that's higher up than you, because that negativity just is like swamp gas. It comes in and it just creates a fog of yuck. You don't want that in your organization. So Milagros says, yes, great topic. Renee says positive affirmation in her mirror. Oh, I love that, Miss Renee. Please post a picture of that if it's not too embarrassing. But I did that for a while. There were some things that I was struggling with, and I had to put it in the mirror. And funny thing, when we were in, I can't remember if it was my thesis or a psychology class, but we did a study of a guy. Might have told you guys this already as well, but there was a guy who took a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and he told one glass, you know, beautiful things like that you're beautiful, you look great, you're wonderful, you know, good positive things on one glass. And on the other glass of water, he wrote other things like you're ugly, you're horrible, you stink, I hate you, you know, die. Then he looked at the molecular, at the water on a molecular level. The water that, and you can look it up, they're like YouTube videos with the images of this study, but I think he's a monk in somewhere, but you could search like psychology, water study, and positivity or positive affirmations. I'll find a link and post it. But the water that he was saying positive things to was like beautiful snowflakes, you know, like crystalline structures that were just gorgeous. And then the molecules that he was saying the negative stuff to looked like it was dying. It was like turning in on itself, and just it started to look like what he was telling it was. So it happens to us too. We are 90% water. So if water reacts in that way, Miss Renee, thank you so much for sharing that, because that was perfect for this. But if we're 90% water and we're telling ourselves negative stuff, that you're ugly, you're not going to succeed, you're not going to get anywhere, you know, you suck at sales, nobody wants to buy from you, whatever. If you keep telling yourself that stuff, it's going to start to manifest. It's going to start to affect you. And a lot of times, sometimes I'm talking to people and they're like, you know, all my life, this has never worked. This has always been horrible. This is what it is. And I'm kind of just like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's not going to change until your outlook changes. If you keep telling yourself that you're not, and it isn't, and, you know, everything sucks and everyone around you sucks and no one is supportive, and, you know, whatever, you kind of have to, it's hard. I'm not trying to make light of it in any way, shape, or form, but you have to like really pull yourself up by your own bootstraps and decide, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to do it. This is the vehicle that I'm going to use to get to where I want to be. And you just need to go for it. You just need to decide, make that decision, and stick with it. And let your actions reflect that decision. So if you're joining this business and you think that this is going to be a means to you paying off your bills so that you could be debt-free, you have to live your life like you're trying to be debt-free. You have to live your life like this business is going to be the end-all be-all, the way that you get to that point. Because when your friends and family are watching and they see you ifing and butting about whether or not you really want to do this, and someone else who is like going hard and they have a person, potential future customer or team member that they need to refer, guess who they're going to make that referral to? So you don't want to put yourself in a position to lose out on that. So that was number 2. Be your best billboard, as internally as well as externally. So number 1, you're your own billboard externally. Number 2, you're your own billboard internally. So in just letting who you want to be become who you are, it's something where if you practice it enough, it'll just sort of become a part of your personality. I don't think anybody who's like known for whatever it is that they're doing woke up one day, did it once, stopped, took a break, came back in like 3 weeks, and maintain the title of fastest runner in the world, fastest swim in the world. It's something that they did day in and day out, that they did daily, that they worked on, that a skill that they honed, building on last week's talk. It's something that you have to work on continually. So even when you don't know, when you're not planning to do it, or when you're not expecting to be put in a situation where you have to, you just gotta have to be prepared all the time. So that brings us to our third topic, which is to position yourself for success. So in addition to being prepared mentally and having the outward appearance of being prepared, you need the tools. And this is sort of like the good stuff of that level of wherever it is that you want to be. So your tools need to reflect what you want to be. So for example, if you want to be the next fastest runner, you're not running out on the pavement in some kits. They're not shoes that are built for running. You're gonna run a little bit, they're gonna fall off. You're not wearing chanclas, some little flip-flops or slippers to do your run. Learn this the hard way, because when I was starting to walk more, I went out there in my little ballet slippers and I was like, I'm gonna walk for an hour. I felt that in the morning. Definitely paid the price for it. So I said, okay, I need some sneakers with cushion. So I went out and I came home, and the next day I brought to work my little, we call them skippies. They're like Chucks, very thin. They have some cushion in the sole, but it's like skateboarding kind of sneakers. It's not made for running. Still felt that. So my sister was like, you need real running shoes. And I was like, I don't run. But let me tell you, she got me a pair of sneakers from Avon with the cushion walk. So there's cushion walk insole and then like real sneaker bottom. I felt that when we went walking this weekend. I was like, wow, my feet don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt, my legs aren't burning already. This is great. She was like, yeah, dummy, you needed the proper equipment. And it's the same way in business. We need the right tools. So you need to position yourself for success. You need to be present, you need to be active, and you need to be prepared. By being present, set yourself up for success by being in the places where you can grow, where you can meet people, where you can learn and develop yourself, and where you can network and make connections. Be active. Just continuing on that, you have to get out there. If you're at home watching Jerry Springer is not going to do nothing for you. You've got to get out there. I was talking with a member of my team this week, and I was saying, I know it's tough, but you've got to get out and do something. Join a local PTA, join Neighborhood Watch, join a church, join a temple, a mosque, or something. Go to the library and sit down. I tell you, when I wasn't working, I would get out, and even I would do, you guys know I do shop spec thing where I shop and prospect at the same time. Sometimes I did not have any money to belong in any store, but I went out there like I was shopping and I talked to people. There are other days where I did what I call lazy prospecting, where I know I needed to study for an exam, but I wanted to prospect at the same time. So I would go to a local Starbucks, a Dunkin' Donuts, or wherever. I would have my basket with my Avon products and a little sign that said like free Avon samples. I would have the brochures and I would have the samples, and I would put the basket on the corner of the table, and I would try to sit in front of the door, which really, if you're studying, is probably not the best place you want to be, but I needed to be near the people so that when they came in, they saw my little basket. And I would put in my headphones, tune everything out, and only pay attention to if someone came up to the table. So I that was my way of getting out of the house. I didn't have anywhere really to go. I could have studied inside of my home, but I knew I was going to meet people by being inside my house. And I have had some really great conversations with people I've met in the Starbucks during those moments. What else did I used to do? So yeah, in addition to setting up tables, it's not always about doing a tailgating event or a table event, a sidewalk event, or a vending event. Sometimes it's just getting yourself out there. Find a library, talk to people. When I go to return my books, that reminds me, I have some books I need to return. But when I go to the library to return my books, I give the clerk, the teller, the librarian, a sample pack. Once we get to develop a relationship and get friendly with each other, of course she sees my Avon badge, button, or whatever on. So if they're inclined to ask me, they can. But sometimes I feel like they might need that little extra oomph, and I might need to say, hey, would you like a Avon catalog to go with that sample, or do you know anyone else work here that might want to see a brochure? Can I leave it in the break room? Things like that. So you're not going to get those opportunities without being active. You have to get out there. This was another way of looking at ACT. You have to be active. You, I don't know, some of you have kids, the kids are on teams. The other parents and teammates should know what you do. I don't have children, but for a while, I used to go to PTA meetings in my neighborhood because I wanted to connect and I wanted to know what their fundraising needs were. So I found myself in that position. I wasn't driving at the time. My mom would drop me off and I would go and I would sit, and then she would come and get me, and then we would go home. So do whatever you can to get out there and promote yourself. Be prepared. Have the right tools. For me, brochures are like the holy grail of your business. Your brochures, and now that we're moving into the digital age, your e-store. Know your e-store link. youravon.com/ whatever that is, know what that is. Have your brochures on hand. Order enough brochures. I cannot stress that enough. If you don't have any brochures, your business is closed. The shutters are down, the lights are off, nobody's home. Nobody knows you're in business unless they are seeing your brochures. Trust me, you could wear your badge all you like, you could wear your car. Well, maybe the car is a different thing. But, I mean, I've had people, before I was contacting my customers like every month, I've had people say, oh, are you still selling Avon? And I would be like, yeah, why? What would make you think that I'm not? My car is still here, still wearing my button. Why would you think that? And they would say, oh, well, I haven't seen a brochure lately. And I was like, oh, I need to get everybody a brochure regularly, at least once per quarter. Do it as you can afford, but the more, the better. You have to let people know you're in business, because the minute you stop, the lights are off. The store is closed. Our business is very different. We don't have a physical storefront. So promoting your business on social media, showing the brochures, sharing your e-store link, that is how you let people know that you're in business. Don't expect your friends and family members to know what you do just because you did one post one day when you first got started, or because you gave more catalog on day one when you first got started. Earlier, we were talking about how many people start this and don't finish off. So don't be that person who started and gave everybody a brochure and then didn't hear back in 2 weeks and decided, okay, well, this isn't for me, I'm not gonna do this. Because now, sometimes 3 months later, I've had people call me after receiving my book, 3 months after I left it with them. 3 months later, when they're looking for you and your number is blocked and this, that, and the other thing, they can't find you, they're going to get frustrated, and you would have lost a customer. Your brochures are an interesting investment. They're not something that you'll always see a direct return on investment on. Sometimes a month or 6 months passes before you see that one brochure give you a return that you expected. Like I said, I've had people that I left the brochure with, 3 months went by, didn't hear from them. For whatever reason, maybe we were missing each other, and then they call me with the order. So when you invest in a brochure, I like them. You guys know I love technology and I hate paper, but I love the brochure because I say they have legs. I've had people call me from neighborhoods I've never been in saying that their kids plucked the brochure off a fence, that they found a brochure on the bus or train, that they work for somebody who I mailed a brochure to, that their cousins, sisters, neighbors, whoever brought a brochure over, or they were visiting somebody's house and they saw a brochure on the counter. I love that because you won't really get that flexibility with the e-store link unless they take it off the back of the brochure and they write it down. But I do always put my e-store link on my brochure. But your brochure has that flexibility and that longevity to it. So invest in brochures. I know a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this, but 10 brochures is not enough. This is something that I realized when I first started early on, because one of the things that I did when I first started was to toss in neighborhoods. We didn't have videos back then. I didn't know that I was tossing, doing a brochure toss. But I knew that, growing up as a kid, working with my parents, they were business owners. When they wanted people in the neighborhood to know that they were doing something, they printed flyers. They printed one. No, my mom would type it. They would Xerox it, and we would walk around and leave it. So that's what I did with my business too. But 10 brochures wasn't enough for me. 10 brochures, especially like if you're going to leave that one stack in a laundromat, didn't cut it. I would, from the beginning, order extra brochures, and I would leave 10 in different places. I would walk for blocks, and I would, around where my mom worked, around my school, stores, beauty salons, restaurant, anywhere that would let me, I would ask if I could leave brochures, 5 to 10. If it's a popular place like a laundromat, a beauty salon, a barbershop, or something like that, I would leave 10 brochures. If it was kind of a slow place like a grocery store, or, if there wasn't a lot of space for me to leave 10 brochures, I would try and leave 5. But I love brochures, and my family to this day jokes that I am like a bunny rabbit, but instead of like rabbit poo, I leave brochures. And they always say that you could always find me, just follow the trail of brochures and you could figure out where I went. And it's something that I stuck with even to this day. So I encourage you guys, I implore you, like I'm begging you, order more brochures and you will see. Order them and remember the action steps. Get them out there. You will see the results. I have never, ever ordered brochures and given them out and not see any result whatsoever. But the results that I see are compounded, and they're a result of consistent action. So I didn't just give out a brochure and then quit my business. I gave out, maybe gave out the next month, maybe gave out, within 3 months. And then I would find another area and I would give out, and I would find another store, give out. Because what was number one? To make up your mind to not quit. And I'm not trying to brag on myself, because I've had the moments where I wanted to. And I've had, like I said to you, I've had customers call me like, are you still in business? Because I haven't gotten a brochure. But I'm telling you from my experience, you can get a leg up now by learning from this and applying it. You need more than 10 brochures, especially in the beginning. I know it's hard because you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to shell out any money to put into this, or, my funds are already tight, I don't have it. You can do it if you work smarter, not harder. You know that the order processing charge is at least 75 cents. You know that shipping and handling is maybe $6, and a pack of a pack of 50 brochures will probably run you $13. So from the beginning, craft out how many customers do you need to sell to using that 75-cent order processing charge to cover your cost of your brochures. 50 brochures, I feel like, is the minimum that you should be ordering. Yes, you're gonna have to work yourself up there. In the beginning, you're first starting out with maybe 10 for your first campaign. Cool. You're working your friends and family. Take those brochures, cycle and recycle them through your who do you know list. Get them, give them out. That's what I mean by recycling. When a person gives it back to you, give it to the next person on your list. In the beginning, yes, I get that. But when you get those customers and you've gotten your 75-cent order processing charge, reinvest it maybe this time by 20 brochures. Share it with your customers, grow your customer base. Maybe the third campaign, you're now buying 30 brochures and you slowly work your way up. But if you've been in this business for 2-3 years and you're still ordering 10 brochures and you're wondering why your business isn't growing, or you've been in this business for 6 months and you're still ordering the 10 brochures or no brochures and you're skipping campaigns, don't tell me. But, your store has been closed, so you haven't found any customers. So have your tools ready. Brochures for me, I cannot talk about enough. Then samples. We love sample packs and we use them for growing our business. And I love samples and business cards, and all of that stuff is great. Those are the tools that you need to build your business. Love the sample packs, always have in my purse, in my bag. And I use them to talk to people and break the ice. In the beginning though, when I couldn't afford it, brochures. And even for business cards, if you guys go to avonprintshop.com, Avon has their affiliate with Town and Country, where they're giving you, I think it's 200 or 250 business cards. All you pay is shipping and handling. But I kid you not, when I first started, the other day I came across the first business cards that I printed for myself in my little inkjet printer. It wasn't business card stock. It was like heavy construction paper type of paper, very flimsy, but it got the job done. It did what I needed it to do, and that is just fine. Work within your budget, but have your tools ready. And you have to know how to use them. Vibe, Alma, youravon.com, your e-store, your brochure, these are all your tools. You need to take the time to study them, learn what they are, how they work, and how to use them, which is why I love the Avon training. Avon University is getting an update in 2 weeks. You need to get in there and get plugged in so that you know how to leverage and maximize the tools that you have at your disposal. Don't be the boss of your business who doesn't know how to work the copy machine. So, and then the next and last thing is to, again, in terms of being active, get out and do. You're like, get out and do what? Everything. Toss, do sample packs, talk to people, do events, do flea markets, do craft fairs. If you've shared your first 5 brochures with your first 5 people and you said, oh, no, this isn't going to work, this is not working for me, you haven't done it. You haven't done it all. You haven't done everything. I've been in this for years, and sometimes people will ask me, what do you do to get where you are? And I'm like, everything. I listen and I try to implement whatever I can, because I know I don't know everything. And I know someone out there, whether they're an experienced representative or they're new, they might have an idea that I'd never tried before. I shared with you guys earlier, sending out cards. Postcards are something that I never did in my business, but I heard you guys singing its praises, so I decided to go out and try it myself. In the beginning, I couldn't afford flea markets and events, and little 16-year-old, 17-year-old me, probably not going to be able to do it myself, didn't do them. But now I try to do them. So, try a little bit of everything, and don't hinge your success or failure in this business on just trying 1 or 2 things, or just trying 1 or 2 things for a week or even a month. Sometimes, like I said, you might do that brochure toss and not hear anything for 3 months. But if you give up before that time, you'll never know. So make sure your phone works. That's a tool that you have. Make sure the information on your business cards is up to date. Check to make sure that you have the proper website. Test it out yourself, guys. You create a link, whatever it is, try it yourself before you send it out to your customers and make sure it works. Go through it yourself, go through the ordering process, go through, where do you go to find the brochures, the product numbers, how do you search for different products, so that when your customers call you, you can say to them, oh, well, you can click this button here. That'll bring you to this page. Use this link at the bottom. That'll help you to do that. Then when you're done, you put in your checkout box. Click that little pink button that looks like a shopping cart. It'll give you a drop down at the bottom of that. Click the little pink box that says checkout. It'll bring you to a new page. All of that is going to come from your getting immersed in knowing how to use your tools and using it yourself. And just do everything. All right, guys. So that is my message, and I'm over time. But I thank you all for joining with me and sharing your awesome ideas here and your wins for the week, and not letting me talk to myself. That is always wonderful. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again next week. We will be here next week, and we will actually be doing the last and final part to our PHAT topic. So I'll let you know next week what that T stands for and how you can implement it in your growing your business. So have a really great night, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye. Oh, wait, I'm getting pings. I didn't scroll down. I apologize. All right, so Lynn, hi. Thank you for joining. Miss Milagros. Hi, Timothy. Avon Superman on the line. Chuck Bauer is laughing at my shop spec thing. Shop spec thing is fun. Dangerous, but fun. Miss Renee says not enough brochures. Yeah, now you need more brochures, Renee. Oh, Chuck also says the compound effect. Yes, very important, the compounding effect. Okay, yeah, that was it. Just wanted to make sure I covered everybody. Like I said, it's not a one-way conversation, so I always want you guys to I always want to read your posts and make sure I've covered and said hello and included everyone. So second goodbye. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.